Was there a specific person or event that inspired you to run for Secretary General?
I think in my committee experience last year, what I've learned as a whole is that when you have a group of individuals for 3 days with very little sleep, there's a sense of camaraderie that kind of like is bring about just by like constant proximity to each other and things like that. So I think there was one kid in my committee last year named Josh, and he was like always making all these jokes and just like being a real, I guess, goofball in committee. But like when debate happened, he would get all serious and make these like excellent points. So I think that combination of being like friendly, but at the same time making really good points in debate and affecting a committee like that, kind of like I saw how he made an impact, and I kind of wanted to make a similar impact and kind of run for Secretary General so that I could have that impact the same way Josh had on our committee.
What are the pillars of your campaign, and how do you expect them to improve your conference?
So pillars like the main points that I want changed?
Yeah.
I think one of the main things that I want to do is address the small aspects of conference. So I talked to some returning delegates in my delegation, and asked them about aspects of conference they want to change. One of them was like to have access to the resolution that they were actually debating. I know in GA they have the projections, and even in some of the smaller committees, like it would be like 1 copy per 3 to 4 delegates. So kind of like in improving debate in that sense, where everyone has the ability to look at the resolution and see exactly what they're debating, and more along those lines. But also, I'd like to change the day of service to make it a more worldly design, because within one conference we have this goal to like change the world and equal opportunity, liberation, all things like that. But it kind of contradicts itself when in the day of service we're trying to affect local areas. So I think it would be quite easy to kind of write letters for Amnesty International and kind of help other organizations like that affect affect people on a global scale rather than places within the United States and place that constraint on the day of service.
How should the UN handle ISIS?
So ISIS has been in debate for quite some time, just because it is its own separate faction within the country, and the UN might not have that much jurisdiction there. And on top of that, they don't have troops that can kind of attack or fight ISIS itself. They have peacekeepers, but their main goal is to protect civilians from getting hurt, whereas ISIS kind of just attacks in an omnipresent way. And so the UN, I think the best way they can deal with it is kind of give aid to countries that are trying to fight ISIS, and also initiate other countries from putting war efforts into there so that ISIS can be completely defeated and the peace can be returned to that area.
If you had 1 day left to live, how would you spend it?
If I had 1 day left to live, I definitely want to travel to places that I've never been before. I live in Montgomery, and there's this joke that there's a Montgomery bubble in the sense of like a socioeconomic structure, but also because there's really nothing there to do. You have to travel like 5-10 miles in the opposite directions to get to anywhere fun. But even more than that, like you don't experience the struggles that people go through and how they have to live their lives, like washing clothes in a river or having to walk 10 miles to get water or something like that. And I want to experience exactly how other people live their lives and understand how people in different countries live. That's what I would do if I had 1 day left.